Madam, my name is Nora. I'm the director of Amnesty International Malaysia, and I have with me right here youth activists and youth members right now in Malaysia. We have been trying to get you, and right now Amnesty International Australia is also listening in. We were unable to contact you earlier, but we have about 10 countries with us that wanted to speak to you, especially the youth of the Asia Pacific. We are wondering if right now you can give a personal message to the youth of the Asia Pacific, if that's all right with you. If you could just have about 5 minutes of your time right now, then we will record your message, and then we will give it to our youth. Is that all right?
All right. Are you going to ask the questions?
Yeah, we have a few questions here. Can we ask you?
Okay.
This is one from Amnesty International youth activist. His name is Faisal Isis. He's asking you, could you kindly advise us on how youth can continue working on Burma, and who should our action be targeted to?
At the moment, what we would like our friends abroad, our young friends abroad to do is to try to do everything we can to bring about the release of the remaining 2,200 political prisoners in Burma. Some of them are young people like themselves. Some are not out of their 20s yet. And yet they have been given long, long prison sentences. So the first thing that we would like is for the youth to increase awareness of the situation of political prisoners in Burma.
Thank you.
Do you think that they would be happy to do that?
Yes, we would definitely be happy to do that. The second question, madam, is from AI Australia. Her name is Lani. She's asking you, how can we help? And how can we help to further the democracy and the human rights for people of Burma?
I think, first of all, people all over the world need to know exactly how much human rights violations are going on in Burma. I think some don't quite know. Yesterday I was speaking to somebody from India, and she was surprised because I said that in order to link up to the internet I have to make an application, and this is not always granted. So we have very little freedom of information and freedom of communication compared to other countries in this region. So if our youth in other countries could use their opportunities to increase awareness of the situation in Burma for us, because they have more access to IP technology and they have more access to freedom of information than we have, that would help us a great deal. In other words, if they would do the work that we are prevented from doing ourselves.
All right, madam. The last question will be from AI New Zealand. Her name is Lena. Her question to you is, what inspired you to continue with your cause for all these years, despite all the obstacles in the way?
Well, I suppose this is really the lot of our people. When I look at what people are having to go through in this country, then I think that it's everybody's duty to do everything they can to change the situation. And I must also add that I have very, very good colleagues. They've really been through so much, and yet they don't stop trying. So with colleagues like that, how can I even think of stopping trying?
Yeah. Madam, do you have one final question? Is that all right? One more?
Yes, yes.
This is from Amnesty International Philippines. His name is Jonathan Cullen. His question is, how did the situation in Burma since your release from the house arrest?
Well, at the moment, of course, I've only been free for about 10 days. What I've seen certainly is that there are a great many more youth involved in our democratic process than there used to be. There is a lot of enthusiasm on the part of young people, which I did not see 7 years ago. So that's very, very encouraging for us, and I would very much like the young people of Burma to be able to communicate with young people abroad, so they can find new ways of helping to bring our struggle to a victorious end.
And this is a question from me and my colleague Jenny Leong in Australia. But, madam, because we do a lot of campaign for Amnesty International, but which regional government do you see as being the most important for the young people from this region to lobby in order to put political pressure on the Burmese authorities to meet basic human rights standards? Which target?
I think we need all the ASEAN countries to rally around, to work in coordination, as well as, of course, India and China. I need hardly add that. But if we're talking about ASEAN countries, we need all of them to work in coordination. Thailand is important because it's a neighbor, and Singapore is important because it's an economic power. Malaysia is important because in some ways we should have progress along the same lines. And Indonesia is important because Indonesia used to be a military dictatorship.
Yeah.
And then the Philippines are important because it's a democratic government with a president at present who's very, very sympathetic to us. So each ASEAN country is important in its own way. And what I would like to do is, what I would like to see is for the youth of those countries to be united in an effort to help us in Burma.
Madam, thank you so much from Amnesty International Malaysia and Amnesty International Australia and all the youth network in the region and all the youth and who are really working hard for the release of Burma political prisoners and hoping that, we will see a better future very, very soon. Thank you very much, Madam.
Well,